think something that we're all finding hard to do is working on ourselves in an environment that doesn't serve us. There's only so much growing you can do in this environment. This spiritual side is never going to leave you. Your dreams are never going to leave you. They were planted inside you for a reason and they will happen. That means that no matter what life throws at you, you will always have this sense of peace. Hello. Welcome to the sacred community. This is our first channeled message. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but this message was meant to find you, especially as it's my first ever video. I am definitely gonna have to get used to using this mic, but we will see how it goes. It looks kind of funny, but today I'm gonna be using the Angel Tarot deck. Okay, so I wouldn't expect any less from my community. You're a highly spiritual person, that is why you're here. You've been struggling to make decisions lately, aren't we all at the moment? You are moving from a highly emotional, intuitive position to a grounded, stable position. You'll still take your intuition and spirituality with you, but this is you maturing in your spiritual journey, which is an amazing thing. You are realizing that, this journey for you, your awakening, was all about love and light, the positivity in the world. And I think you've recently realized that not as many people get it as you thought, and you're quite disappointed that not a lot of people around you are relating to you, and as much as you try to stay positive here, you just are suffocated by your environment right now. You're not in an environment or around people that you particularly want to be with, but this is all about making this a choice, even if you feel like you don't have a choice. And I was literally talking about this yesterday, guys. I was saying that I have recently been, I went to Bali, I became a yoga teacher, I did everything I've ever dreamed of. I was literally living in paradise. I was meditating every day. It was like all my dreams had come true. And then I had to come back home, back to my hometown, back to my family, and in an environment where I don't necessarily thrive. And realistically, I didn't feel like I had a choice to move away and get away from this again, because realistically, I'm only ever going to be able to have that experience like I did in Bali if I make some money. Basically, the only way I'm going to be able to make this a stable lifestyle for myself is by living at home, saving up, putting all of my work into my business. But I think something that we're all finding hard to do is working on ourselves in an environment that doesn't serve us. And something I realized yesterday is that you are always going to have and face challenges no matter where you are or who you're around. Just because I was in Bali doesn't mean I didn't face any challenges. God knows what I would face if I actually created a life there and lived there. Yes, it would be more peaceful and easier. But what you're going to find is, if you can't find that peace within yourself in this environment you're in now, the one that doesn't serve you, then you're always going to be looking back. If you run away from this environment, you're always going to be looking back thinking, like, what if? And like, there's still going to be wounds unhealed. This is pretty difficult to explain because I know you're thinking, like, but if I'm in a shitty environment, like, surely the best thing to do is get away from it. Yes, if you have that choice available for you and if that is actually going to benefit you in the long run. However, what I have found with my situation is if I can find peace in this environment that I don't see as is a great place for me to be in, and I don't necessarily thrive here, but if I can harness everything and create success here, if I can stay in my highest power, stay in my highest self, if I can prove to the universe, prove to myself that I can create everything I've ever wanted here, then God knows what I could be and what would happen if I then decided to take this with me to another country or to another environment that actually could thrive. It would just literally, what I would have created would just expand beautifully. I can already see it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you find peace and light in your life here, if you can use your gifts to be able to create light in any situation, if you can truly be at peace in the worst of environments, that's an exaggeration, but if you can do that, then imagine how powerful that would be to be able to take that anywhere in your life and into any situation. That means that no matter what life throws at you, you will always have this sense of peace. And I think that's what I have been struggling with lately. I have been resisting this change. I've been resisting this acceptance of the present because I experienced such an amazing experience in Bali, and then I came back here. I felt that it was really unfair for the universe to have shown me such a beautiful way of living and such a lovely experience, and then I was just grieving. Like, the past few months I've been grieving the life I had and the taste of that I was given. And I asked myself, why was I given a taste of something that I can't have right now? And this is this is where I'm gonna cook, right? It's because if if I wasn't shown that, like, God knows how depressed I would be right now. If I hadn't been given a taste of God's will and hope, if I hadn't been given this hope, then I wouldn't know that I could do it, you know? But this is what makes moving forward so easy, because I can literally envision and I can literally see what I want my life to be like because I've lived it already. And I know some people may not be so lucky to have lived their dream already, but something that will help you push through, I think, is by being able to see what you want in your future. And if this is like me living in another country, think of somewhere you've been on holiday before. Think of your Pinterest board. Think of, if you can see it, especially if you've lived it before, even if it's just for a couple days, you've been somewhere, then that is going to make this manifestation of your dream life, your life that you know you deserve, so much better. And to add on to that, the only reason you're dreaming of this life is because you already have it. time is not linear. You already have it, you've already experienced this. Even if you haven't for real experienced this, yourself is experiencing it right now in your future. Otherwise, I don't believe you would be having these dreams. God wouldn't put these dreams in your head if they weren't going to happen, if they weren't attainable. So I hope that gives you a little bit of hope. And I think something that is really pushing me through as well is to think that what is the reason? I truly sat with the thought, what is the reason that I don't have all of this right now? What is the reason why I can't have this life right now? What is keeping me here in my hometown? Why has God sent me back to my hometown in this environment where I haven't exactly thrived? Why am I now having to come back to this, to return to this? Because 111 on the clock, like 1111, 1111, that's what I meant. Because I went to uni for a year. I moved away from my family, and another thing, like, that was another taste of what my life could be. It was like I'd finally been able to have my own thoughts, my own wants, my own feelings. I truly, when I was away from people who I was basing my decisions off of, because we do that, like with our family, we listen to what they want for us, even if it's subconsciously. Like I truly felt like I was following what they wanted for me. But in this independence of going to uni, I realized what I truly wanted. And even though uni wasn't for me, even though that wasn't what my future was supposed to be, God gave me that. God gifted me that time away from this environment for me to know deep down that there is a way out, that there is another life out there for me. And God has sent me back here now, no matter how much I hate it, to prove myself and to show myself what I can do, and to build my business, to build what I want my life to be, and for it to actually be stable. Because I got a tarot reading the other day, and I'm sure, like, if you're feeling similar feelings to me, I'm sure that, you've got two options here. You either pack up and leave and throw, I don't know what that saying is, but throw in the cards or whatever and just live out your dream life right now. Move away. You may not have much money, and there's not that stability there. Like, potentially you could move away and find that stability somehow. And I know you could do it. We all know you could do it. You know you could do it. But it would take time, right? You would have to form connections over there. You would have to find a job. You would have to whatever. And this is the analogy I'm giving for moving away, but this can relate to any sort of change in environment, right? You'd have to completely start over. And then there's this option to stay in the environment you're in. But how much more powerful is it to create this life in an environment that you don't necessarily mesh with, and still thrive in an environment that once hurt you, traumatized you, wounded you? Once you've healed all of these wounds, I don't know if it's, no matter what it is, environmental, school experiences, childhood trauma, anything, once you've healed this generational trauma that I'm sure you have if you're watching this, because God sent you this message, I've brought you this message. once you've healed all of this, once you've healed your wounds in the environment that once hurt you, once you learn to laugh, once you learn to smile in situations that would once make you break down, that would trigger you, that would set you back, imagine how powerful you would be when you move on to this situation, when you have your dream life. And just let that sit there for a second. And I think something that's also significant here is once you've got this stability, once you've built your life, you can then, like, who makes the rules? You can then uproot this. And this is what I'm saying with the grounding tree here. This is about you grounding yourself. You've been resisting stability. You've been resisting truly grounding yourself into your environment right now, because I don't blame you. Like, who wants to, like, you don't want to stay here. Why would you create a life here in this environment if you aren't planning on staying here for very long? But who was to tell you that you can't plant the roots here? And oh my gosh, I'm cooking. You know when you plant a tree, right? Like a baby tree. Say you planted a baby tree in your garden, in your house that you're living in right now. If you have a garden. I don't have a garden. But imagine you plant a little baby tree. Its roots start growing through the ground. Imagine yourself as this baby tree. And you keep watering this tree, and it keeps growing in your back garden. It grows into this beautiful medium-sized tree, right? And there's only so much growing you can do in this environment that you're in right now. There's only so much growing it can do in your back garden. Because let's imagine you're in the UK like me, and you're a banana tree, right? You do that initial growing, and you're like, why can't this tree grow any bananas? And it's because of the environment that it's in. This tree, this baby tree is so beautiful. It's put down its roots, it's started growing, but it's not producing any bananas. There's only so much growing you can do in this environment, but the point is the tree has grown, it's planted its roots, it's a cute baby tree, right? Medium size now. Once you have created that stability, once you have rooted yourself, once you have shown yourself that you can grow in this environment, and I'm talking about healing, like as this tree is growing, the tree is healing you're healing this generational trauma, you're finding out your triggers, you're reconnecting with family members, you're approaching situations differently. Every time you don't let your triggers trigger you, and every time you react differently to the way you once reacted, your tree grows a little bit more. And then when you finally get to the point where you're rooted, you've got money, you've got stability, who is telling you that you can't uproot this tree? Because I don't see why you can't. I say once your tree is medium sized, get your shovel and take care in uprooting your banana tree. And you can put it in a box or whatever with some water, and you can ship it anywhere you like. You can ship it to Africa, where I'm sure your tree will then grow bananas, right? And then you will see because this tree has managed to grow in the UK in your back garden, God knows what potential this tree has in Africa in the sun where banana trees usually grow. And that is the end of my banana tree analogy that I came up with on the spot. So I hope that that provided some motivation for you. 444 on the clock. And I also wanted to add that I think you've done this before. You've planted things before in your life. You've sown the seeds and you have proof of the kind of things that you've been able to grow. But you know that saying where like flowers grow faster when they're around other flowers that are growing fast? You know, like if you've just got one flower, it's not going to really grow very fast, but if it's in a garden of flowers, I don't know if that's even a true fact, but what I'm trying to say is you're kind of risking a lot if you go a long life with just one flower. This life for you is about planting as many different plants as you can until you finally have this beautiful garden that you can water, that you can grow. And all I'm saying is this time around, God is asking you, the universe, the divine is asking you to grow a banana tree, right? You may not want to grow a banana tree. You're like, why the hell are you asking me to grow one in my back garden? It's not going to grow. But the important thing is this time around, it's a banana tree and it's harder this time because God has plans for you. The universe has plans for your banana tree, right? And you already have proof of the other things that you've grown. I'm sure you've grown all sorts before. But this time around, you're getting a little bit of an extra challenge. Moving on. You are going to be very lucky in this journey. You have got full support from the divine, you've got full support from God, from the universe, and I think you know that. I think that you felt kind of lonely in the past in your journeys, and I think you're starting to realize that this is a very independent spiritual journey for you because, as I said before, you feel very alone in your spiritual abilities, you feel very alone with and unrelatable. And I think it's also in the work you're doing as well. This could reflect all around your life. No one's really valuing you, but I think you can find hope and support in the fact that I think you really do know that the universe is fully on your side for this. Recently you've been really struggling to make decisions because you're not sure whether it's the right path for you, whether it's the right decision. But I think now in this tower moment, we're coming to an acceptance of your environment, of this situation. And I think it's becoming a lot more clear to you what you have to do. And I just wanted you to know that you are fully supported in this. And this is going to make it so much easier because even though you've got these earthly beings that may not support you, you have got full support from the divine. And I think the spiritual journey for you so far has been all about connecting with the divine and connecting yourself to your highest self. And I think, it's the last thing us spiritual people want to hear. But this next chapter of your journey is about creating this life with your higher self, making it possible on this earth plane, making your dreams, like everything seems very attainable in the spiritual realm. It's like anything's possible. 444, I think that's protection, which I was just talking about. It's all about, you know, anything is possible for you, like manifesting, energetic work, like you can do all of that. But when it comes to doing the realistic stuff, and this is the opposite for you, because you know most people like will not go near spiritual things. Their third eye closed, whatever. Yeah, usually people really struggle with the stuff that you're really good at. But something we all are not well versed with is this earthly grounding rootedness with your root chakra, sacral chakra, manipura chakra, solar plexus. This is about not resisting anymore and accepting that you have been put on earth for a reason. If you were meant to, you know, fly away with the fairies and live a spiritual, happy life in the middle of the universe, then that's what you would be doing right now. God in the universe has sent you here because you chose to be here, because you chose to be this highly intelligent earthly being as a human, and you accepted this challenge to find 111, to be able to bring this spirituality as your highest self to this life you have on earth. And this worries you, this gives you anxiety, and I do know why, because I experience it too. It's like I don't enjoy being realistic about things because I've got a taste of this beautiful spiritual life. Like, why, like, if I know the truth about how things really are, why should I have to be realistic and follow what everyone else wants for me when I know me better than anyone? But it's going back to what I said at the start of this reading, which is about proving to yourself. It's about nurturing yourself in this environment, and your light inside of you is going to just grow and grow and grow. And this is an infectious light. You will be healing others as you always have. You'll be healing others in this environment too. If your light begins to shine, which it already is, bright enough, you will not just heal yourself and your childhood trauma, you will be healing generational trauma here. And if your light can shine this bright in this environment, think of how bright it's gonna shine when you have everything. 11, 11, 11, all of these numbers are really significant. You've got the strength card here. The universe and God is gifting you strength, like warrior strength. That may be significant if you do yoga like me, warrior, and I just, you know, the yoga pose warrior. I don't know if that resonates. The universe is giving you a godly warrior strength here. And I wouldn't be surprised if you were some sort of warrior in your past life. The universe sees you as this spiritual warrior. In your earthly physical body, you may not be, you know, like massive, strong person, but the universe is saying your spirituality is literally one of the strongest things they've ever seen. Like, you are a very strong spiritual person here, and it's because you have forgiveness and compassion. It's because you have this awareness of this universal truth that not many people enlighten themselves to know. You are aware of this oneness, this, you are aware that everyone is one, that your neighbor is you, to treat everyone as you want to be treated. And this gives you this power of forgiveness no matter what anyone throws at you, no matter how unfair, your family, your relationships have been to you. You always have this power of forgiveness over them, because you know that it doesn't benefit you to hold a grudge. You know that you have this power of detachment as well. You're making moves in your spiritual self, like big moves, because you just have this ability to forgive. And I think the universe wants you to heal your generational family trauma. You have been given this, it's almost like the universe has passed you this sword, or your ancestors has passed you this weapon of spirituality, and you are the one that is going to heal your generational trauma. And you're like, why to be me? Who else is it gonna be? I don't think there's anyone else capable of this in your family, to be honest with you. And this is about completely surrendering. You will have strength in surrendering judgment. This is about surrendering the ego. Even though you are this special chosen one with the strength, with the sword, it's about seeing and reminding yourself that everyone is one. You're not better than your family members just because you're more healed, just because you're more spiritual. It doesn't make you better, because you are also them. It's about seeing this as a collective thing. And I think your ancestors are going to be in contact with you if they haven't been already. And they are passing on this generational strength. With the doves here, you may have two spirit guides, people who have passed away. They're going to be here with you for this journey, and they want you to heal this generational trauma, because I do see that some of your ancestors have tried before and failed, but you're gonna be the one that heals this generational trauma. And this is why you're back here. This is why you are stuck in this environment, because God has given you a mission to heal this. And do you know why? It's so that you can look back on this environment, you can look back at your family, you can see this with fondness. When you have this life you've always dreamed of, I don't care where you are, what you're doing, it's going to be like you're actually going to be able to spend Christmases with your family, and there's not going to be a resentment there. Because my point is here, if you are still wondering why you were being forced to come back here, to like, why should I have to heal this? It's not mine to heal. Why can't I just pack up and leave and be in an environment that actually serves me, to find my spirit family, my soul tribe? You will. However, God wants you to heal this now before you are gifted and given all of these blessings of everything you ever wanted, because there's two sides of the coin here. Say you ran away, cut off all your family, cut off all of the people you never wanted. I don't know even what I'm trying to say, but you've got everything you wanted, and this is a very independent thing here. But there was that resentment there. There was still those wounds. There was still that generational trauma. There was still this childhood trauma that you haven't faced, that you've basically ran away from. Or you heal this, and then you go away and live the life that you've always wanted, with the blessings, with everything you've built, with most likely your family's blessing to go. And then you can always come back here for Christmas, for family events, and there won't be that resentment there. You'll be altogether lighter. Because as much as it is exciting and rebellious and fun to run away from all your problems, facing them shows so much more strength than running away. I think this is where we're going to conclude the reading, the message. This strength you're getting gifted is about your inevitable position of leadership on earth and in the spiritual realm. You are a born leader, whether you like it or not. And this is because you're impartial, you are fair, you care a lot about being fair and having justice. And you're going to be the kind of person that people want to follow. People want to be like you. And I think that with your throat chakra, you've been healing that lately. You've been speaking up for yourself. But the difference here is speaking with confidence. You're speaking, the words are coming out with intention. You're not letting people walk all over you, but as you were before. You're not being a people pleaser anymore. But the words you're saying, people aren't digesting, and that's because, as I said, they don't get it. It's not, what you're saying is not digestible for other people. Not only that, but I don't think you actually believe what you're saying. You believe it, but you don't trust yourself to make the right decisions. You don't actually believe in yourself enough for everyone else to believe you. What is the point in saying something or doing something if it's not in confidence? Because I'm not going to lie, if you said something to me and I could tell you weren't confident in what you were saying, I wouldn't believe you. I wouldn't follow you. And healing this is what is going to make you the ultimate brilliant leader here. Another thing that is going to help you with this is seeking professional advice. Going to, I don't know, tarot readings, going to events, therapy, breath work sessions, workshops, whatever. That is another thing that you really need to, the universe is encouraging you to delve into right now. And the final thing I will leave you with is relating back to the start where I said that you are transitioning from this intuitive, emotional being to a grounded and stable one. You need to balance this out somehow. because you're responding with emotion. You're very in touch with your emotions. So am I. Every time you respond to someone, you respond with your emotion. You wear your heart on your sleeve. You are easily triggered, is the downside here. Balance out the emotional and the mental and the logical. I think you really need to look at how you're communicating, and don't suppress your emotions. Just maybe realize that you can speak up for yourself, but that doesn't mean you need to act out on your emotions. Respond in a way that is digestible for the other person, and then express your emotions in a healthy and comfortable way to someone who will actually, will actually digest these emotions, even if it's yourself. React in whatever way is healthy to react to someone who triggers you, and then go to your room and journal down how you actually felt. And I know you're like, oh, but shouldn't I stay true to myself? Shouldn't I deserve to be respected for who I am 100%. But while we're in this environment right now, this is about protecting your peace and that only. You will find your soul tribe, they will find you, and you will find people who understand and accept you. Just not yet. And that is the end. I hope this provided you with some hope. I don't enjoy ending this reading saying you're not finding your soul tribe yet. What I mean to say is you're cultivating a life here where you are now in the present. Focus on the present here. And know that this spiritual side is never going to leave you. Your dreams are never going to leave you. They were planted inside you for a reason, and they will happen. You just got to heal these. You just got to heal these things first. It was lovely talking to you for our first ever channeled message. Welcome to the sacred community. Check out my Instagram at sacredflow.yoga. I also have my personal Instagram, which is LanaMemphis7. TikTok, Lana Memphis, or divinetarot.reads, I think. Obviously, only do that if you actually care. My tarot on my TikTok is basically these messages, but in a very condensed version. Stay tuned on YouTube for these in-depth messages. And I love you. I hope you have a great week. I will be back with another message soon.